Whether you need a building to grow your business or you simply need more space for a backyard workshop, look no further than Tightwire Construction. Kurt and his team will get you the most out of your metal building and take pride in exceeding your needs with great customer service. To talk about your next project, give Kurt a call at 806-683-6842 or visit tightwireconstruction.com. And as always, go Falcons!
AA&A Windshield and Glass is a proud sponsor of the Bushland Falcons. We are your one-stop shop and we'll get it done right. We are a family-owned and operated business for over 35 years and we specialize in windshield replacement installation and rock chip repair. We offer scheduled appointments in our shop or we'll come to you with our mobile service. Call us today at 806-353-9119 or fill out our contact form at aawindshieldglass.com to get started. See clearly with AA&A Windshield and Glass.
No one said living here was simple. They just said it was worth it. This land wasn't easy to settle. More than 30 years in business will teach you that. Her elements are fierce and forceful. Amarillo can take anything thrown her way. Your body shop should too. Loki's Body Shop, built for Amarillo.
If we can get on the field in between 10 and 10:30, 10:30 probably being the latest, then we'll try to go back out there. We got to be right at 10, just after 10 o'clock. That's when we were warming up. We thought we were close, and then it popped again, and we knew it was going to be after 10:30.
I think it should be back now.
It was going to be after 10:30, so we decided at that point, with it being where it was, there wasn't a whole lot to gain at that point, so we just moved on and called it.
So, obviously, great first half. We come out, homecoming, lots of energy, and Borders coming in with a lot of momentum. We knew that they would be ready to go. What do you feel like really set the tone early in that game?
Well, we got the ball first, and I thought really for the first time this year with that first drive of the game, offensively, we looked like us and what we were wanting to do, playing fast, up-tempo, sideline to sideline, taking shots. And, I felt like we just executed real well offensively, how we plan on every game, And now we talk to the kids about playing A's always to jump on them. Whether it's offense, defense, we want to steal the momentum early in the game. If we have the ball, then we'll get the ball, go down fast. I think we scored in, I think it was 5 or 6 plays maybe. And that's what we want to do. So I think, setting the tone offensively, going down that first drive really fast, scoring, turning around, getting a stop immediately, and then I think we scored again. That's a great way to start it.
2 weeks ago, we had the conversation on defense. You were really looking to try to get a little more pressure on the quarterback. It feels like over the last 6 quarters, you're really beginning to do that. How much of that is just everybody's kind of settling into, obviously, new season, new changes, new faces? It feels like people really, your roles are beginning to be defined, maybe? Is that a good way to put that?
I think it's a great way to look at it. We've talked about that in the coach's office. It just feels like we're starting to, everybody kind of find their place, and all that, and understand the similarities defensively this year and what we have been doing in the past, and understanding the differences and where we're trying to go with that, whether that be scheme or personnel or whatever it is. I think we're getting all that we're still working through some of that, and trying to figure out some things, but defensive staff have done a great job, and the kids have done a great job of just understanding kind of where we're at and understanding that, we said it's a marathon, not a sprint this season. You want to win them all. You want to win the first one every week, but what we're trying to do is to get better through the season. We don't want to peak early. We want to get better each week and start playing really good in district and play our best in the playoffs.
And so now we turn our eyes to Dumas, and you continue that building process with what's traditionally been a very strong and tough Dumas team. What are you looking for from Dumas as they come into Falcon Stadium Friday night?
Just exactly what you said. I think they're a tough, hard-nosed football team that plays hard. They've played some really good teams. I said that I don't think their record indicates what type of team they are, because they've played some really good football teams. And, I think that's something that we just have to be ready for, is that we got to know that they're going to come out swinging. They're fighters, and they're going to play hard, and that's the way they play, and that's the way their coaches coaches those kids to be tough, and we know that, and we feel like we are too. So it'll be a fun matchup, and we're looking forward to it.
You talk about the teams they played, and they have had a stacked schedule, but when you look at both of our schedules, we both play El Paso schools next week. How hard, from a fan perspective, because sometimes you wonder, why do you go to Seminole to play Riverside? How hard is scheduling right now in the Panhandle, just with the differences? Because you see massive size differences from, obviously, you're not going to play the little 2A schools. You just can't. And then the big schools don't make sense either. How hard is scheduling right now that both of us are facing El Paso schools in our last non-district game?
Yeah, I think I've seen it. We haven't ever done it, obviously, but I've seen maybe Dumas and maybe Amarillo Highs and some of those guys, play some El Paso teams. Obviously, I think Amarillo High, Tesco, so they're playing some Odessa and Midland teams. That's not really a short drive either, but you just do what you got to do. Everybody's got to do what's best for their program, and sometimes that doesn't fit your schedule, and sometimes it does. And the biggest thing is you just you want to play tough competition, get to test you and push you and see where you're at. So I know the next 2 weeks we got our hands full.
And so, going back to Dumas one more time, real fast before we wrap up with it. Obviously, last year going in there, they have a heck of a game day atmosphere. How nice is it this year to be back at home with your home crowd? And because we're coming off what I guess would arguably be two back-to-back sellouts between West Plains and Borger. How nice is it with the energy that our crowd's bringing this year? Because I've never seen crowds like this for Bushland football.
It's been awesome. We were very appreciative. Keep coming, by the way.
Yes.
We love you being there. But it's been awesome. I mean, obviously we talked about that West Plains. That was just something crazy with all the people. I've never seen that amount of people in that stadium. And last week, we was full again, and overflow. And, I think that, like I said, people come for multiple reasons. They come to watch the football game. They come, to watch their, family member in the band or the cheerleaders. Or they come to watch the little kids run out, behind the football team. And it's a community event, and that's what football is all about. Texas high school football, what I love about it is it's a community event. It's hard. I don't think I can name anything else in any town that goes on like that, a community event, than Friday night football. And our community is doing an unbelievable job. And we just, tell the kids we're going out to play for each other, but we're representing our community and our school, and we want to play that way. Whether we win or lose, we want to play hard and give our people something to be proud of.
Well, and y'all do an amazing job representing us. We Chris and I talk about it all the time. Just obviously it starts, I get goosebumps even thinking about watching those flags come out of the tunnel and the way everything is about our country and our community. And the name on the front of that jersey means far more to y'all than the name on the back. And that there's something to be said about that. And as somebody that lives it and also as a dad with a kid in the program, I appreciate that. So thank you for the standard you set.
The flags, obviously that's something that Coach Thomas started. And it was really cool, it meant a lot to him, and we sure want to carry that tradition on and represent our country, but obviously, represent our community as well.
Well, Coach, thanks for taking the time again. I know Mondays are busy. Every day is busy in the coach. Every day in the fall is busy. Before I let you go, we're about to get your local legend, player of the game, Dawson Jaco, in here. If I'd have told you going into Borger that Dawson wasn't going to have a touchdown pass, would you have been nervous?
A little bit, maybe. Yeah, a little bit. But he had 3 rushing. So
he did.
It doesn't matter how we get him in, as long as we get him in. I didn't realize it until we were watching film Saturday morning, and we go through and there's about 3 or 4 of us offensive coaches that do stats on Saturday mornings because we all end up with something different. We got to go back and cuss and discuss and compare them and get to the right ones. And I looked through there, I said, we didn't have any passing touchdowns, but like I said, it doesn't matter. We just want to get the ball in the end zone. So
it's one of those anomalies you don't see a lot with our offense. As much as we sling it around, I was looking as we went into halftime. We always kind of go back through the scoring plays, and you're looking through it, and you're like, it's 35-0, and we haven't thrown a touchdown pass. It's just a little out of character. So, Coach, thanks again for taking the time. We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with Dawson Jaco here with us live at Mitch's Barbecue.
Danny Richburg of Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of the Bushland Falcons, our school, and our community. As a financial advisor, he wants to know what is important to you. Not everyone has the same goals, aspirations, and plans for the future, and that's okay. Whether you're focusing on retirement, a loved one's education, your lasting legacy, or a trip around the world, he would like to help. If you're serious about your investments and understand that it takes a plan, but you don't have a plan, you need to visit with Danny. Whether that's across the desk, at your kitchen table, or on the phone, he's available for his clients. So give Sarah a call at his branch office at 806-352-2980. 806-352-2980 and set up a time to meet with Danny. New Vision Exterior Solutions is a proud sponsor of our Bushland Falcons. At New Vision Exterior Solutions, they take pride in and are committed to their work. With an increasing number of successful projects under their belt, they can proudly say they are one of the most trusted seamless gutter installation companies in Amarillo, performing both residential and light commercial work. New Vision Exterior Solutions can handle all of your gutter needs, including removal and installation, hail damage, wind damage, and leak guards. New Vision can also stain new and old fences and make those old fences look new. So give Brock Hall a call at 806-517-0533 and let New Vision Exterior Solutions provide a free estimate.
Hope Choice is a faith-based, pro-life organization that assists women facing an unplanned pregnancy by providing free pregnancy tests, sonograms, educational classes, and baby supplies. Hope Choice is also helping young people and parents by taking a stand against society's influences that are threatening today's families. By offering free mentoring programs to young people ages 8 to 18, retreats, and character building presentations for students in the schools, Hope Choice is changing culture one heart at a time. Learn more about the mentoring programs, events, how to volunteer, or become a financial partner by visiting hopechoice.com. That's hopechoice.com.
The Bushland Falcons are a symbol of excellence in all athletics, so when the Falcons take the football field, there is no room for error. Vanessa McDonald with Lyons Realty feels the same way about her job. As a real estate professional with almost 20 years of experience, Vanessa knows there's no room for error when it comes to your real estate goals. Fortunately, Vanessa's real estate experience, understanding of clients' needs, forward-thinking company behind her, and her love for the Bushland community all combine to form a winning team for her clients. So give Vanessa a call today for a free market analysis on your home at 806-336-7885. Once again, that's 806-336-7885. And as always, go Falcons.
Procrete Construction is a regional concrete place and finish company designed from the ground up to give you solid professional service. Based in Amarillo, Procrete serves residential, commercial, and industrial construction industries. High standards of professionalism and quality are our benchmarks. We know your construction project requires a company that is equipped with the tools, knowledge, and experience to complete the work as promised with a focus on details. Call 806-318-3820 or go online to learn more about Procrete Construction at procretenow.com.
Hey, see, Coach. Welcome back to the Bushland Falcon Media Show, Coach's Show, here live from Mitch's Barbecue here in Bushland. Now we've got our local legend player of the game, Dawson Chaco. Dawson, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Been a busy guy between football and sports and school. For a little bit, we didn't think we'd get you tonight. How hard is that of a balance? I know you're doing dual credit and all those things. In the fall, is that harder?
I'd say probably not, but I mean, yeah, it's a hard balance. But you know, football you don't miss as much as you do in baseball in the spring, and the spring's always really a busy time. In baseball, you're missing at least 2 to 3 days a week. But football, yeah, it's hard, I'd say, because you know you're just getting started on the dual credit, and it's usually a big workload at the first of the week. But I wouldn't say it's harder.
And I bet last year, from the baseball perspective, every game being a road game probably did not help the spring at all.
It was a lot of late nights doing homework.
So, obviously, first off, congratulations to Miss Hannah Solomon, your other half being nominated or named homecoming queen. What's it like dating the queen of Bushland High School?
I was just so excited for her, and she had a rough week with just coming fresh off her knee surgery, and I think that was just really good for her, and she was really excited. I was really excited for her.
She's overcome some adversity with that knee this year, hadn't she? So you come in, obviously it's a busy week. You have the parade on Sunday. Is homecoming week does it get you out of routine at all from a football perspective?
I'd say no. I'd say homecoming was probably more of a big deal for me when I was a little kid than it feels like now, because I was talking with some of the other seniors, and it just kind of feels like another game, another week of going to work, going to win a game. But yeah, we all said it felt more of a bigger deal to us as kids watching the game than it does playing the game.
So Borger comes in. They literally allowed like 10 points a game. I think it was 10.5 points a game all season. Coach Hamrick's a big defensive guy. First year at Borger, coming from Tascosa. I think his last 3 years at Tascosa, he averaged 18 points a game. When you won the toss, was the point to get the ball and get up early?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's usually what we want to do when we of course get the ball first. We want to go down, score early, score fast, give the defense a chance to go get the ball back for us, and that's what we did. And we scored early, got those 2 quick touchdowns, and they gave the defense a chance to go score one of their own.
Does anybody get more excited than Austin Ryder when he scores a defensive touchdown?
Probably not. You see pictures of him, he's got the biggest smile on his face whenever he does something good like that. But yeah, no, probably not.
Y'all been playing football a long time. Has he always been your energy and hype guy?
Yeah, definitely.
So, obviously, we talked about it a little bit right at the end with Coach Reynolds. A little bit of a unique stat line for you on Friday night. When's the last time you rushed for more touchdowns than you threw in a game?
I think that was the first time it's happened.
Let me ask you this. You love the physical side. You love to get out and block. You love to lower your shoulder. When you see the cornerback stepping up, trying to close off that corner of that end zone, how much did you just want to run through him there?
I was hoping he was going to step up the whole way. I saw him at the back. Of course, Tanner did a good job of running him off, making him think he was running a route. But no, I was hoping he'd step up. I'd get to hit somebody. But he did. And I got a good shot on him.
So, do you enjoy that a little more than throwing for touchdowns? When you get to run somebody over at the goal line?
I don't know. It's a different feeling to throw a touchdown pass. I'd probably say throwing it feels a little bit better. It's more of a satisfaction to me.
How much? So obviously we had you here on week 1, and we talked about the fact it's a new receiving corps. A lot of guys graduated off last year's team. I think every starting receiver you had last year graduated. How much growth have you seen in your wide receiver corps these past 4 weeks?
Oh, there's been a ton. They've all stepped into their role. They know their role, and they know that 1 week it may be someone else getting all the targets. 1 week it may be the next, and they all just step into it. They did a great job of blocking. I think they finally really figured out, and that they have a crucial role on runs to the inside of the field because it could be bouncing. Their block could be the difference between a big gain or a touchdown, and I think they've all really stepped into that role, and some of them even enjoy run blocking. You saw Caden Tanner blocking a little bit, talking a little bit of trash, and I liked it. It brings a lot of energy to our team.
They like to even block downfield for each other.
They do.
It's been cool to see that part of their game really begin to come in, of realizing obviously there's only one ball to go around,
right,
and you've got a lot of really talented receivers. But as you said, there's a role even when the ball's not coming to you on the offense every single play.
Right.
Now, you come into the season, 60% of your O-line's new. Unfortunately, we've already had Rhett go down with an injury. How big is it for you to have somebody like Jace Fisk and just all those guys that have stepped in? Because just as much as your wide receivers and your weapons have been developing, it feels like a different offensive line from week 1 to what you had against Borger.
Yeah, I'm so proud that all of them. They've all stepped in, especially Jace. He stepped in, and Rhett did a great job of helping, kind of mentor him and telling him what he needed to do and what he needed to fix. If he had a bad snap, Rhett would tell him where it was. And, Jace has done a great job. He stepped in. He's clicking, and he's done such a good job. All those linemen have. Holt and Jake, they're just big nasties over there on the left side. And, yeah, they all do a great job.
That left side of that line is mean, which is funny because I hear stories, but those are some of the, obviously I get a unique perspective because Ryder Grace is down there and she's taking pictures and, she's 10, but you don't realize it when she's down there. But I watch them interact with her and they're not that way at all. But all of a sudden that snap gets snapped and there's a switch that goes.
Yeah.
How much of that is Charlie Pitt has set the tone? You hear him joke about, I wake up and choose violence on Fridays. How much of that tone is set that those young guys get to watch? How key is that to have senior leadership like that shows those guys, this is how we do it between the whistles?
First off, I think Charlie wakes up and chooses violence every day. But, yeah, he's done a great job. He's been on varsity for 4 years. He's been here a long time. They've watched him for a long time, watched what he's done. And, he really sets the tone. He's aggressive. He's loud. He's mean. And he's up in your face. And he just has fun doing it. So I think that all of them are like that. They have fun doing it. They know their job, and they do it really well and have fun doing it.
So we asked some questions of, I'm trying to remember who was the first. I guess week 2, Jackson got the first. Yeah. We asked some questions of the SROs when we sat down, and we had some, after week 1, they were like, hey, will you ask some questions to the players? We'd love to get to know them more because for as well known as you are, most people see you playing ball and they don't really know Dawson. So I'm gonna fire 3 or 4 questions here at you. You've had an advantage because you've probably seen the last couple of weeks, so you know what they are. But what's DJ's favorite movie?
This is probably, I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but Interstellar. It's that's kind of a space movie, but it's just it's a movie I watched and it kind of messed me up. I was kind of thinking a lot, and it just really kind of makes you think. And I just enjoy watching that movie. It's a long movie. It's got a great soundtrack, and it's just a great movie to me.
Now, are you typically a sci-fi guy?
Yeah, I'd say so. Not usually that kind of sci-fi. You more like the Star Wars and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's just one of those. It's a different movie, but I enjoy watching it a lot.
What's DJ's favorite candy? You got a sweet tooth?
Probably sweet tarts. It's always been. It's been me and my dad. I remember we'd go when we go skiing. My dad always keep a bag of sweet tarts in his pocket, and we'd get on the ski lift and pull them out, and they'd be rock hard because it's so cold outside. But you know, it'd just be something I've always remembered, and I've liked that candy for as long as I can remember.
So when DJ's not playing ball, whether it's football, baseball, where will we find you? What are some of your hobbies?
Probably either hanging out with Hannah, my girlfriend, or at home watching a movie with my family, or playing video games with my friends. I'd say, I wouldn't say I'm a homebody, but I'm not much of the likes to go out a lot. I like to be at home and just hang out.
And then finally, if DJ had a theme song that played every time he walked in the room, what would be your entrance music?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. Probably some real upbeat. Probably. I've always liked the Imagine Dragons music, so probably some kind of song by Imagine Dragons.
They have some upbeat. Ryder Grace used to have an Imagine Dragons walk-up song, and now I can't think of it. As a baseball guy, I figured you'd have a walk-up song already kind of in your head.
The past few years, I've had someone else pick my walk-up song. It's been too hard for me to pick. I've just had I think Cade picked mine sophomore year, and then last year, whenever we got to have one at the few games at Hodgetown they let us, it was Brecken Adams picked mine for me.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back and let's talk a little bit of baseball because obviously last year was a unique season. Got to talk to Cade a little bit about it, but we'll take a real quick break and then we're going to come back and talk some baseball while we got DJ here with us.
Adobe Wall Stoneworks, Justin Howe here. Listen, I can't believe it, but this year we're going to celebrate our 20th anniversary. The Texas Panhandle has been such a support for our little business, and we're so thankful. Amy and I have been dreaming about this design center for years. We want you to come check it out on Hillside. Go check out our website, adobewallstoneworks.com. Just like you go make a dinner reservation, you can click and make a reservation for a private design consultation in our indoor showroom right here on Hillside. Come check it out, Adobe Wall Stoneworks.
34 seconds. All right, we're back. Coming out of break, obviously I said I want to talk a little baseball. Last year was a special run. Came up a little short from expectations. But how unique of a season was that for y'all to, obviously you didn't have a home. So you spent a lot of time with your team, but only one senior. How much of that is going to carry over into this year?
Well, I think it's huge. Just having that one senior, all of us juniors and even the younger guys, the sophomores like Jackson and Max and all them, they had to step into a leadership role that not a lot of guys will have to on a varsity team at that young of an age. And just, I think it's going to really propel us forward. And the next year, everyone's already got that leadership experience that you want from those older guys. And I just think it's going to help us out throughout the year.
I know you only had one senior, but he was a really good one.
Yes, he was.
What'd you learn from Josh Bass last year?
Josh, he was a great player, great friend, and he was a great leader, and he knew his role. He knew what his role was as being the lone senior. He had to, keep us all upbeat and keep us all locked in. And he did a great job of it. He did a great job pitching for us and just led our team and in his role.
So, because you didn't have a home game, you got to play a few extra games at Hodgetown. How cool of an experience was that to be in a professional baseball stadium and kind of get to go through your routine, but in that environment?
Oh, it's huge, and there's not a lot of teams that get to do something like that. But of course, you want to have those home games, but it's kind of a win-win scenario. When you lose a home game, you lose a home field, but you gain a home field on a professional field.
Yeah, that's an experience most people just don't get at the high school level. And Coach Love did a really good job of making the best out of let's just call it a bad situation, because it was. Now, obviously, we came up a little short against Wall. Obviously, you don't want to get ahead of yourself. You got to play this season. But how much do you have Wall circled on your calendar for the senior year?
Oh, it's that's our ultimate goal, is to get past where we got to last year. Just like in every sport in playoffs, you want to go to that next step, exceed to where you did in the year before. But just we had them, and then they had us. So hopefully we have them in all games next year.
How unique because baseball is so different than football. You show up on a Friday night, everything culminates at 7 p.m. in football, and when you dominate that, you walk away with the win. Against Wall, you go in on Friday, you get the win, but then you have to literally almost come home and reset for Saturday, and whoever gets the momentum on Saturday, sometimes they keep it, which unfortunately happened this year. How different is that mentally preparing for those unique kind of 3-game playoffs?
It's a lot different because you just for football you prepare all week for one game and you go out at 7 o'clock and you execute what you prepared for. But for baseball, you prepare all week to go. You play that first game, and whether it goes your way or not, you have to go home, take that bus ride home, and kind of reset your mind to go play 1 or 2 more baseball games.
What do you prefer, 1 or 3? Probably benefits to both.
Yeah. I mean, there's those teams that have one stud pitcher, so they of course want to go the 1 game. But I think for our situation, we have tons of good pitching, so I think the 3 games is better for us as a team. And I say I prefer it a little bit more because I get to pitch in the 3 games.
And we have crazy depth for a 3A school.
Yes,
for a school our size to have the pitching we do. So, one last question. Obviously, Coach Love's been your baseball coach for a long time. He's retired and now working at Pantex and running the clock on Friday nights. You talk about a different environment for Coach Love. It's unique to get to sit by him because he still thinks like a coach, even running that clock. You hear him, he wants to coach so bad. But how unique is this senior year going to be with Coach Espy? Obviously, he's been around, but do you expect much different, or is it going to kind of, does it feel similar with it being Espy?
I think we're going to go out there. It's going to be the same expectations that we had with Coach Love. We're going to go out there, try to win a game every week, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Senior year, and all those guys are basically the same team as we had last year with the amount of underclassmen we had playing, and I'm just excited for 1 more year with all those guys.
There's kind of a built-in advantage to only having 1 senior. And talk about the tale of 2 different experiences. With football, we're replacing 21 seniors. Right. So you had a lot of new, and chemistry is building week to week. You really walk in day 1 with baseball and have that chemistry already, don't you?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And, a lot of us, almost everyone that plays has played summer baseball together, whether me, Ken, and Cade, we've played on off-speed the past couple of years, and then all the juniors now, they've all played on their team all together. And, it just, like you said, it's a lot of built-in chemistry, and it's just, there's no having to step into a new role like there was in football this year.
So I'll leave you with one last question, because I had Cade Gavignon last week, and we talked about it. Sometimes there's anomalies, and sometimes there's just ridiculous stats. Like you rushing for 3 touchdowns and throwing for none is an anomaly, especially in a 35-0 win. but Cade only striking out 2 times in an entire season. That's not an anomaly.
No.
That, as a pitcher and as someone that pitches and hits, you see both sides of it. How special of a season was that for him?
Well, it just shows the amount of grit Cade has in the box. He just refuses to lose to the pitcher, and it's something that in practice I talked to him about this the other way. I said, you didn't point out the fact that I struck him out in practice. I have it on video too.
I have it on video.
But yeah, it was like a 15 pitch at bat. It's just the amount of, he refuses to lose to you, and when he's in that box, and it carries out to the football field too. He, like against Canadian, he gets his helmet ripped off and he just refuses to quit. And it's just the way he is as a person and an athlete, and it's just a great player to have on your team in any sport.
Yeah, Cade's, and he's really kind of becoming the chemistry that y'all have on Friday nights is special. Y'all are going to put up. What do you have last week? 3 catches, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's kind of really becoming that kind of go-to. We were joking in the booth of, what do you call on 3rd and 18? I said, you call 12. You just call his number, and he's gonna figure it out. And y'all did. You connected for a 36-yard, converted to 3rd and 18. So, DJ, thanks for taking the time. We're excited. It's crazy to think we're almost halfway through the season, through the regular season. And so we're believing we're a third of the way. Well, right now, a quarter of the way through the football season. But excited that you're healthy. 3 rushing touchdowns on your way to being the local legend player of the game. Great job Friday night, and we look forward to seeing you against Dumas.
Thank you for having me.
Whether you need a building to grow your business or you simply need more space for a backyard workshop, look no further than Tightwire Construction. Kurt and his team will get you the most out of your metal building and take pride in exceeding your needs with great customer service. To talk about your next project, give Kurt a call at 806-683-6842 or visit tightwireconstruction.com. And as always, go Falcons!
Hope Choice is a faith-based, pro-life organization that assists women facing an unplanned pregnancy by providing free pregnancy tests, sonograms, educational classes, and baby supplies. Hope Choice is also helping young people and parents by taking a stand against society's influences that are threatening today's families. By offering free mentoring programs to young people ages 8 to 18, retreats, and character building presentations for students in the schools, Hope Choice is changing culture one heart at a time. Learn more about the mentoring programs, events, how to volunteer, or become a financial partner by visiting hopechoice.com. That's hopechoice.com.
The Bushland Falcons are a symbol of excellence in all athletics, so when the Falcons take the football field, there is no room for error. Vanessa McDonald with Lyons Realty feels the same way about her job. As a real estate professional with almost 20 years of experience, Vanessa knows there's no room for error when it comes to your real estate goals. Fortunately, Vanessa's real estate experience, understanding of clients' needs, forward-thinking company behind her, and her love for the Bushland community all combine to form a winning team for her clients. So give Vanessa a call today for a free market analysis on your home at 806-336-7885. Once again, that's 806-336-7885. And as always, go Falcons!
Melanie and Jeremy Scott with Texas Plains Real Estate Group at Keller Williams Realty support our Bushland Falcons on and off the field. As residents of the community, our school and students' success are important to us. A successful school drives home values and a strong sense of community, along with a desire to live in Bushland. To help further the community support, we have created a Bushland-only e-directory, which can be found at bushlandhomesandliving.com. Please visit our site and add your business listing for free.
New Vision Exterior Solutions is a proud sponsor of our Bushland Falcons. At New Vision Exterior Solutions, they take pride in and are committed to their work. With an increasing number of successful projects under their belt, they can proudly say they are one of the most trusted seamless gutter installation companies in Amarillo, performing both residential and light commercial work. New Vision Exterior Solutions can handle all of your gutter needs, including removal and installation, hail damage, wind damage, and leak cards. New Vision can also stain new and old fences and make those old fences look new. So give Brock Hall a call at 806-517-0533 and let New Vision Exterior Solutions provide a free estimate.
All right, we are back here with Chris's Big Clothes. I know we mentioned Coach Culpepper stopping by. We missed him tonight. We will get him for next week, even if we have to pre-record that, because I guarantee you he has a lot of thoughts on volleyball as we get ready to head into district play. And so definitely want to preview district in volleyball as our Lady Falcons. Oh, man, my mind just drew a blank how many district titles we have in a row right now. But
All of them?
I think it is all of them since 2008.
Yeah.
And my mind just drew a blank. I literally did my homework today because I was going to talk to Coach Culpepper, and then I just, man, sometimes that happens. But so obviously only got a half in on Friday night against Borger. But what did
Well, according to the clock, only a half, but we played pretty much a full game from a statistics perspective.
We did, and we were in the box for a full game.
Yes, we were.
I hope some people got to see Coach Rankin's light show and our assortment of rain songs that we played. And
everything we played was rain related. So.
And but what did you see that you really liked? Because obviously this isn't the same team we watched in week 1 and 2. What did you see Friday night you liked?
You know, what I liked is the confidence to execute, right? And you could see that. We're going to do whatever it takes, whether that's throw 3 touchdowns or run for 3 touchdowns, you know. And you saw DJ really take that and say, okay, well, I'm just going to go with what they give me. I'm not going to try to force a certain set, right? So we'll take what they give us. And I appreciate that from the team because that's where that grit comes in. Because sometimes you're going to get in a game where you're just going to have to find a way to win. And if you try to do it, well, this is the way we practice or this is the way we're going to have to do it, you're going to have to improvise at times. And I think we took those opportunities to make plays, even though they weren't the play per se, but you make a play out of that. And so sometimes you're going to have to lean on some of that. And so I like the grit that I've been seeing from the team. It's starting to come together a little bit defensively. I thought we had a ton of pressure this time from different spots and different places. That's going to go a long ways as we get into the season.
And one thing we're seeing that's even more unique this year is that blitz from the mic.
Yeah.
You know, and when you bring Jackson Fetch on a blitz from the mic, he gets there.
Yeah, we've kind of been absent of that. I've talked about that quite a bit, about, you know, needing to get that mic in there a little bit. And you got to be careful. You don't do it too much. You expose your middle. But, you know, when you've got somebody that fast, okay, do it, right? And it's worked really, really well.
You know, we talk about DJ, the anomaly of 3 touchdown passes and three rushing touchdowns and 0 passing touchdowns. But he was on pace to still throw for 300 yards. He had 148 yards in the first half. And so still a lot of that game. But I think the thing that has kind of impressed me is when we get inside the 10, we can really run the ball this year.
Well, you know, old school football says you run the ball to set up the pass.
Yeah.
Bushland's always been the opposite. You throw the ball to set up the run. So, and the reason why it works so well is now you get within the 10. If you've got to respect the pass, what do those D-backs and safeties have to do? They got to stay back.
Yeah.
They've got to respect that cushion. Well, that's going to open up the run game. So we pass to open up the run game. Now, I've always said that seems to be our philosophy, whether Reynolds will admit it or not. I'm a little more old school. I'd say, no, you got to run to set up the pass. But I love the fact that we're successful with our run game because of our pass game.
You know, he talks a lot about how games sometimes come down to taking what they give you. And I feel like he really does. If there's one coach that really lives up to that mantra, it's Coach Reynolds. He's going to take what the defense is giving him. And where sometimes you do get play callers that are a little, well, here's a perfect example. This El Paso Riverside we're going to see next week. They were going to try to run the ball with that quarterback last year no matter what. And it just did not work. And so now we turn our eyes towards Dumas. Last year we went on the road to Dumas. What are you kind of looking at Friday night, your thoughts leading in to the game?
Different Dumas team than we saw last year. I really believe that, and I really think we've got confidence going in the fact that a pretty good Dumas team last year. Yeah. And that game was really hyped. One of the top games in the state of Texas that last year.
And I think we totally surprised most of the state of Texas when we went in and we took that game. And then we turned right around and we do the same thing to El Paso Riverside the next week. At that point, the state stood up and went, "Oh, there's something going on."
They stopped picking against us after Riverside.
Yeah, they did. So I suspect I'm going to see a similar game as we saw this week. To be honest, I think we're going to go in with a lot of confidence, and I think we're home again. We play pretty well at home. We play pretty confident. We get off to a better start at home. We don't get off to the best start on the road a lot of times. I say we're not a great travel team sometimes, but I think we're a great home team. So I do expect us to come out. It'll be interesting where we're going to try to pick on them because if you look at Dumas, they're 1-3, so they're the opposite of what we are.
Yeah,
they're 3-1. And boy, Lubbock Cooper just killed them.
But you look at that schedule, and they've had a gauntlet
of a
schedule.
I'm going to say Plainview. So if you go down, if you look at the first 2 games, you're going, they're not very good. But then you look at Perryton, you're going, yeah, okay, that's Perryton. But then you go to the 4th game, Plainview. Plainview's no slouch.
No, they're 4-0 this year.
Right,
Plainview's...
and they played them to a 6-point game. So I do expect Dumas to put up a bigger fight than maybe what we've had last week or the week before. But I do think we're going to come out, and I think we're going to get on them early. That's my prediction, is we'll get on them early.
You mentioned we play better at home. A lot of it's the atmosphere. We've seen, and you've been around Bushland a lot longer than I have because your boys are older. Have you ever seen crowds like we've had with these first 2 home games?
It's no. So from a size perspective, we're obviously packing it. And you can see this post-COVID. It slowly has
coming back
up. I'll say travel-wise, we travel. We're probably one of the best travel crowds I've ever seen.
No doubt. Amen.
When we played, back in 2017 and we're playing Seminole, oh my gosh, there were so many people there at that game. It was insane how many people traveled to 2 hours to Lubbock to watch that game.
Yeah, and that was at Plains Capital. The entire away side was packed with Falcon fans.
Yeah, it was impressive. We were looking at it because we were in the booth on the home side, and we were like, holy cow. Did they turn out the lights in Bushland, right? So there can't be anybody left. And we teased about Friday night, people turn up. It's getting to the point that the lights go out in Bushland.
Absolutely.
On Friday nights. And so, no, I'll say it's been great to see the crowds really packing it in. It's fun to watch the community page at times and people going, when are we going to add new stands? And
so, amen to that, too. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and I'm sure the visiting crowd, when West Plains comes over, they're going, when are they going to add more stands for us, too, right? Because they were packed on that side. But it's great to see it from a community perspective, to see, we've lived here since 2015, so we've seen Bushland go from no parade, smaller crowds to packed out. Hoco's a big deal now. The Falcon preview every year is a big deal. That's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been able to watch this over the time just grow and grow and grow and grow.
Well, I'll tell you one thing I'm lobbying for is the bringing back of the bonfire. I don't have much lobby ability, but man,
we don't have that.
I miss the bonfire. That there's just something about it that it still screams small town, and we're still small town, and we are still that community where last one out, turn off the lights on Friday night as we head out of town, and so
don't lose that small town, right? I think
that's
agree. Important. I saw where in some of you may or may not know, we lived in Groom for 13 years before we went to Arizona and came back here. But I saw the pictures from the bonfire, and I'm like, man, I missed the bonfire. That was so much fun, and watching the kids walk around the bonfire and do all that kind of stuff. That was great.
So I don't know who we have to beg and barter for a bonfire, but we're begging and bartering and pleading.
Please bring it back.
Bring it back. So obviously this Friday night will be different for us because you will be officiating a wedding on this weekend.
I will be. My oldest son Trent is getting married in Colorado Springs. We'll be doing that wedding, so we're headed out Thursday. I was trying to think how many times I've missed calling a game since 2017, and I think this will be the second, maybe. I missed one for a high school reunion, and then this one this year. So not very many games I've missed in a bunch of years. But obviously that's an important one to be there for. So we're looking forward to that. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great time. Small wedding up in the mountains this time of year.
I was about to say you'll be tuned in, not hating life on Friday night.
Yeah, so I'll be officiating or announcing just in a whole different capacity for sure. Trying not to let the tears flow. So
What an amazing, as somebody that has had the honor, I've officiated a lot of weddings. I got to officiate my sister's. It's probably the closest one I had to that. I can't imagine as a dad just getting to play that role, standing at the altar before God with them, getting to walk through that process. I can't imagine the emotions you will be feeling this weekend. But you're getting to be an old pro at this. This isn't the first time.
Yeah, I did my youngest, one of my twins, this summer as well. And so when Trent came and asked me, he goes, hey, he said, I want you to officiate our wedding like your dad did your wedding. He goes, because that's been pretty successful, Dad. And I'm like, oh,
No,
tugging the heartstrings, son, right? So I thought that was just really cool.
that is awesome. So, because I won't have you pregame, let me get your final thoughts on as we head into Dumas.
Yeah, I think this is I won't say it's a pivotal game, but in some ways it is. And here's why I say that is, we have El Paso Riverside, then we go into district. It's all about building the momentum, right? You want to get great momentum coming into the season. And so if you're going to have a loss, let's have it early.
Yep.
Right? And then let's start that ball rolling. So now you're starting the team's going to want to start watching for those small mistakes. Right? Get the small mistakes out of there. Start focusing on what district's going to look like. Don't show your hand quite yet from some of your plays. You got to keep some of those plays in your back pocket. You got to keep formations in your back pocket. But you want to start really sharpening those skills at this point. So to me, if I'm coach, I'm looking for how sharp are we running? How crisp are we running? Are we up to the line? You need to start seeing this, right? And by next week, it better be hitting on all cylinders, right? Because when we go into that first district, we want to be on all cylinders, hitting at 100%. And so you don't want those little mistakes to get you right now. And then seeing how the team reacts when they do have the small mistakes, because they're going to happen. Do they recover quickly from them and get right back on pace? So that, to me, is what I'm starting to look for in the preseason. So that's my prediction, is that we're going to start seeing a little more sharpness and crispness out of the team, and then as we lead up into district.
And let's be honest, we got to be ready for district week 1, because if you look around our district right now, week 1's Muleshoe, they're 4-0.
Get ready.
And then we have Dalhart, who's 4-0. I mean, the day and shallow water is going to be shallow water. I mean, we saw what they came to Bushland and did last year. The days of district being a cakewalk are over.
We've gotten used to that. I mean, to be perfectly honest, last year losing the shallow water was different than what we're used to. But before that, district really didn't give us a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And to your point, who would have thought? I mean, I think we both thought Muleshoe would be better this year. Dalhart we thought was still going to be down maybe a little bit, but that's not the case. I think our district is starting to shape up to be a very tough district with a lot of good talented teams for sure.
Well-coached teams all around and that have solid quarterback play. And when you get a good coach with a good quarterback at this size classification, you're dangerous every Friday night.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely. So it'll be exciting. I'll be watching for sure. So
have a feeling it's going to be me and Mark Boyette on the broadcast Friday night. So it will still be familiar voices. You probably heard Mark in-house at homecoming, and he's the future of the voice in-house of the Falcons. As Coach Rankin is kind of on his victory lap here of his last season as being the in-house. I think is the plan. Obviously, he's a grandpa now, and so
Grandpa got grandpa duty.
He does, and there's just that's a fun experience, and to get to watch him do that it's so cool that just the relationship he has there. But so Mark will move over from spotting for Coach Rankin on Friday night, probably into our. I got to verify that with him, but I have a feeling that'll be that I won't have to twist his arm too much to get him back over.
At all. He's sitting back there. He's like the second team quarterback. Who's he going to get hurt? I'm in.
So it will be fun. It will be familiar, but have a safe trip. Obviously, an amazing weekend, and y'all, if you come out, continue. I mean, just pack the stands, and because it's going to be another big game on Friday night. Dumas will come in. They'll be looking to bounce back off of a really hard-fought, tough loss against Plainview. Shout out to Plainview and Hereford, both 4-0. There's some great stories. uh, in the 806 right now in football. Hello, Jay Kelly. And so, but yeah, so once again, for Bushland Falcon Media Coaches Show live here at Mitch's Barbecue.
Yeah, we're going to miss you. I'll miss you guys Friday night. That's tough for me to be out. But yeah, so thanks for watching tonight. And as always,